Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, we're going to discuss how we scaled air-cooled marketing and amplified marketing to 6 and 7 figures in annual recurring revenue using absolutely nothing but cold Facebook Messenger outreach. Okay? With all that being said, let's get right into it. I want to share everything I have to tell you guys. So, first and foremost, for those of you who don't already know, Borks is a B2B lead generation agency dedicated towards helping coaches, agencies, and consultants book more meetings. Now, unlike most agencies, we didn't just one day decide, hey, let's just start a lead generation company, right? That's not how things went down. Our entire founding team has had several agencies beforehand, and we actually learned the hard way on what it takes to get clients, right? Now, a quick introduction to our team. My name is George, and I'm the co-founder, along with my partner, Tyler, of Air Cool Marketing, right? We are a home improvement marketing company dedicated towards helping HVAC companies in the United States get more clients. Now, we scaled from 0 to 26K MRR in just about 5 months, and all of our lead generation went all down on Facebook Messenger, right? We didn't do cold calling, we didn't do cold email, we didn't do anything but Facebook Messenger. And you can see this screenshot is from Go High Level, so you can kind of sort of just see it there. Now, my two other co-founders in Borks are also two seasoned agency owners. Connor and Ben are both co-founders of Amplified Marketing, also a home improvement marketing company, but this time in the United Kingdom, and they help specifically roofers, not HVAC companies, right? They scaled their company from just 0 to 80K MRR in just 9 months, and you can see a picture here from QuickBooks. Now, with all that being said, I do think it's reasonable to assume that we know what we're talking about when it comes to B2B outreach, right? With all that being said, let's actually get into the content, okay? So first and foremost, 99% of cold outreach is done wrong. Now, why is that? Now, traditional lead generation looks a little bit something like this. You find a system that works in some industry, and you take that system and you try to apply it to your business. You're going to try different scripts, different offers, different landing pages, and pretty much everything there is in between. And just sometimes, this is rare, it'll just work. You'll just find a system that you stole from somewhere else and it'll just work. But most of the time, it doesn't. Now, why is that? It's because you can't just copy and paste lead generation systems into different businesses as if they're all the same. It's not that simple, right? If it was, we'd already all be millionaires. So, for example, in air-cooled marketing and amplified marketing, we could have gone the traditional route, of lead generation, which is cold email. That's pretty much like the most common way that people do cold outreach is, we could have just went and bought a dozen domains, bought a couple of email accounts, warmed them up for 2 weeks, and began the outreach process. But what would that do for us? We would just be another cold email, right? Now, I'm not saying that cold email doesn't work, right? You don't have to have like absolute polarity when it comes to outreach. It could work. It's not like it's one or the other. It doesn't work at all or, works amazing. It could work a little bit, but it's not going to get us the 10 to 20 meetings a day. And that's right, a day, not a week, not a month, a day that we were booking with Facebook Messenger outreach, right? This is a picture of our calendar, right? You could see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 meetings on this day, a bunch of meetings on this day. We have onboardings going on. Like things are always happening in the company. Now, if I'm being totally honest, these aren't all the highest quality meetings, right? With our approach, we could have, and we do this now, but at the time, we weren't booking the highest quality meetings, but the volume made up for it. Right now, we did sort of like other things that I won't mention just because I want to keep them private, but other approaches to make these meetings more high quality and decrease the volume. But point being is, even if it's a low quality meeting, you're not going to get volume like this from cold email. Okay? So moving forward. Now, this is how we actually went and did this and how it actually ended up formulating in reality, right? Step number 1 is always the research phase, right? The research phase is the easiest and most important phase of the outreach process. But for some reason, most people just completely neglect this stage and get right into writing the winning script or trying to actually do the outreach, right? Now, you really need to ask yourself these questions. Do I usually work with male clients or female clients? Do I usually work with younger people or older people? The people I work with, what countries are they in? The people I work with, are they good at technology? The people that work with me, are they good at social media? How skeptical are the types of people I work with, right? Do they understand what's going on? Are they, familiar about marketing? Like, is this something that, they're sort of aware of, right? And when you ask yourself these questions, you start to build an ideal client profile, right? Also known as an ICP. You've probably heard that acronym thrown out somewhere before. But now, since air-cooled marketing and amplified marketing have very specific and very similar ideal client profiles, I'm going to build mine out in front of you guys right now, right? So in terms of gender, male, like 99% of the time we're working with a guy, right? In terms of age, 90% of our clients are 50 plus, right? It's safe to say that we do work with an older audience. They're only in the United States or the United Kingdom. We don't work with anyone outside of those two countries, right? They are not good at technology at all. These guys could not use a cell phone, if their life depended on it. Then they only have Facebook. And if they don't have Facebook, they definitely don't have anything else, right? And they are very skeptical people, right? They have, I guess, how do you put it into words? Like a wall of suspicion up as soon as you start talking to them. So you have to really be careful with what you say to these people, right? Now, the customer avatar that I just described, does that sound like the type of person who's scrolling TikTok? Absolutely not. Does that sound like the type of person who has an Instagram profile and he's posting stories? No, of course not. These are 50-year-olds who, legitimately are in construction. They're not on Instagram, chit-chatting. These aren't the types of guys who have LinkedIn, posting pictures and posting sales assets on their feed. Like, no, these guys don't do these sorts of things, right? Do they seem like the type of people to sit down on their computer, drink coffee, and check their emails? Like, they don't, right? They're not the type of people. Maybe they do check email, right? But the mass majority aren't that type of person. Now, I'm sure some home service business owners might have TikTok or they might have Instagram, but like in the grand scheme of things, it's not a very common thing, right? But on the other hand, Facebook, right? A platform with an older demographic, a platform that allows businesses to make pages for themselves, and a platform that we see our ideal client profile have, an account on very often. That's the platform that for us would make the most sense intrinsically, right? Again, I really want to stress the fact this doesn't mean that cold email won't work, right? People always like to compare cold email to everything. Cold email could work here, but it's just not the best solution, right? So that's why we went and chose Facebook Messenger. Let's go to then step number 2. Now, this is your offer. Now, look, what I'm about to say is very groundbreaking, right? If you've watched YouTube videos, if you've watched courses about offers, you're kind of going to be a little bit surprised on what I'm about to say right now. Now, your offer needs to be tailored to the person who's receiving it, right? Now, most coaches, most people on the internet, they say that all of your offers need to have a bold claim, a quantifiable result, a timeline, a risk reversal, guarantee, a unique mechanism, and all of the other fancy things. Now, that's true if you're pitching someone like an e-com brand, right? Now, if any of you guys know anything about e-com, there's a lot of services that revolve around e-com, right? E-com brand owners, especially ones that make a lot of money, they get pitched like 30 times a day, right? If you want to stand out in that situation, you need a bold claim. You need a quantifiable result. You need a timeline. You need a risk reversal. You need a guarantee. You need a unique mechanism. And you need all the other fancy offer things to make your offer irresistible. But if you're pitching a roofer who literally fixes roofs, who does not care about your multiplex system or your whatever you want to call your unique mechanism, and they do not care about all these things, right? Do not do that. It's going to come off as salesy, as annoying, right? Like, no one wants to be sold to. And roofers and any home service business, any construction business, anyone who's even older will see right through that shit. It is not something you want to be doing with them, right? They don't want to hear about your unique mechanism. And I made this mistake when I just got started. I went into home improvement with the idea that I had to do all these crazy things, right? Send them my case studies and, do all this thing and be in their face. They don't like that. They want you to just pitch them, straight up say the cost, and that's it. In this specific industry, that is how you need to do it, right? You're not supposed to use all these other crazy marketing jargon things. Like, you need to just pitch them. Get straight to the point. And they will tell you on the spot if this is something that they're interested in or they're not. Now, this is a very specific industry. It's not like this for most industries. But in this specific industry, you need to do it like this, right? So before concluding that your cold outreach doesn't work, first make sure that your offer is good in the first place, right? A lot of the time, it might not even be that, oh, your Twitter DMs or your cold emails or your Facebook messages don't work. It's not your script. It's just that you have an offer that people don't care about, right? Like if you just sell something that people want, it's not rocket science. They'll just buy it. You don't need to do these crazy elaborate things, right? So one of the most important parts in lead generation is to have a good offer, okay? So moving forward. Then it is getting access to scale. Now look, at this point in the video, you already know that you need to understand who you're going to get in front of. You need to understand where you're going to get in front of them on, as in what platform. And you need to understand what to put in front of them. So think about it. This is your ICP, the platform, and then your offer. These three things are extremely important, okay? But now you need to figure out how to actually do it. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make a guide on how to do, outreach on every single platform. That's just kind of like, that's going to take a century, right? Now, for air cool marketing and amplified marketing, we use MessengerFlow, right? I mentioned that, we wanted to go on Facebook Messenger to do outreach. We used a tool called MessengerFlow. It's a software that we developed specifically for this purpose. And when I say we developed, I mean that we made this software and we're giving it to the public to use, right? And it's going to allow you to do Facebook Messenger outreach, right? Completely automated. And you can see it here. MessengerFlow is an all-in-one tool that automates Facebook Messenger outreach. Everything from building targeted lead lists to sending messages to even booking appointments is handled directly inside of MessengerFlow, right? If you want to learn more about MessengerFlow, you can take a look at our Twitter. As of this video, it's not out yet. It's going to be going into public beta soon. So if you are interested in that, you can go on the Twitter, but I'm not gonna talk about it too much, right? Now, if you do want to do messenger outreach for yourself, you don't need to use MessengerFlow. It's not the only option. You can hire VAs, you can build SOPs, build systems. And I've made videos on this before, right? And you can go do it that way. That's how we did it for the longest time before we made MessengerFlow, right? And the point I'm trying to get across by saying this is you don't necessarily need a software for mass outreach. You can always leverage talent overseas. And if you are good at sales, it'll always make sense financially, right? Like I remember back when we used to use VAs, we would pay a VA about like $500 to send 9,000 messages. And at the time we had a 3% booking rate, right? So 9,000 messages would be equivalent to about 270 meetings, right? $500 for 270 meetings. I mean, it's like $2 a meeting, a little lower even, right? So it makes sense financially for you to go and do that, because if your closing rate is like literally above like 0.5% and your service is above $500, I mean, it just kind of makes sense like financially. Like there's no way that you can not justify that, right? But again, that is for us. Those were low quality meetings. I do want to stress that. If you did actually qualify them, you would book less, but it would really be the same thing. No matter what, it was still wildly profitable. That's really the end goal here, right? Now, I would recommend that everybody who wants to do outreach, if there's not a software that can automate it, you definitely use VAs, right? Obviously, for something like cold email, there's tons of softwares. For something like Messenger, there's MessengerFlow. I know there are softwares that we use internally for Instagram and softwares that we use for Twitter and this and that. But for you, if you're going to start trying to build an outreach system for yourself, I would recommend you start it off simple, just use a VA and sort of go from there, okay? Now, the end. I'm going to quickly just pitch you guys. If you don't want to hear it, you can just leave the video now. But if you guys do want a done-for-you lead generation service, we do offer it at Borks. Obviously, we are a lead generation agency. Now, I'm just going to say this right now. We do a pay-per-qualified call offer, meaning you only pay us for every call we get you. Only qualified calls count as well. They have to show up and they have to be qualified. So, I mean, we don't work with just anybody. Like if you have a bad offer or you're a beginner or you can't service deliver or you have no case studies, like don't even book a call. If I'm being totally honest, like we're not going to be able to help you. If you are an agency owner, coach, or consultant doing over $5K a month in monthly recurring revenue and you want to take your business to the next level, you can schedule a free consultation call, right? In this call, we're just going to discuss what marketing channels in theory could work for you, right? You can decide later on whether you want to do it with us or you want to do it on your own. No hard feelings if you want to do it on your own. Worst case scenario, you get professional advice on how to scale your business. Best case scenario, we flood your calendar with so many qualified meetings, your competitors will not believe you. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope this video is valuable and you guys take care. Bye-bye.